Welcome. Willkommen.
Bienvenue. Добро пожаловать. Witamy.
Benvenuto.
ようこそ
To This Week in Voice Live.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody out in the audience. John, good morning. We can't hear you yet, John. There we go.
Good morning. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, thanks.
People are
Thanks
probably
for
very, very disappointed to not see Bradley, but you'll have to do this one.
Well, yeah, I can't think of a better guest host, as Bradley is traversing the world, hitting back on the road. He's actually going to be out here in Seattle, I know, early next week, and then is headed to the Bay Area for Voice of the Car. Should be an exciting event. So yeah, thanks for joining.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Howdy, everybody out there in the audience. Today is going to be an exciting episode. We have some regular news, obviously with our guest host, John Kelvey, CEO and co-founder of Bespoken. We have an interview with Jeff McMahon and Nick Laidlaw, the CEO and CTO of Voicify, a fellow Google for Startup Accelerator company, along with Bespoken. And then we're going to go back to an old favorite and play a round of Dictionarium. So it should be a lot of fun. John, do you want to kick it off?
Sure. So for my news, I selected the launch of Clubhouse on Android. I thought that this was an exciting development. I don't know that it really impacts us professionally or in what we do as a business at Bespoken, but obviously it seems sort of adjacent and we're interested in it. And so Clubhouse has made a lot of waves. They did not have an Android client. I am an Android user, have been for a long time. And
Same
I found
here.
that really, really annoying. I had to steal my daughter's iPad in order to listen to Clubhouse. So yeah, I downloaded the app as soon as they announced it, and I'm still not sure what to make of it. I'm probably not going to be a top Clubhouse user, but I did try it yesterday afternoon, and there's a whimsical aspect to it that I enjoyed. There was a Clubhouse room that was dedicated to Stevie Wonder's birthday. And I like Stevie Wonder a lot. People were playing his music, pretty low fidelity, sort of talking over it in a way that was maybe a little bit annoying. One person came on stage and thought that the people hosting the room or the person hosting the room was Stevie Wonder, which was sort of funny. But I thought it was kind of fun. I'll definitely go back some amount of times and see what I think. And simultaneously yesterday, there was an announcement from Discord about their Stages functionality, which works similar to Clubhouse. And we love Discord. It's like Slack,
That we do.
Better, free, has a lot more voice support.
A lot more fun for games.
So I hear. And so Discord, Discord's added support for it. The issue with Discord support, I think, as we saw it immediately trying it out when it was first announced, was that the stages are within a server. So it's like you only access things within your specific communities that you've joined, which seems like certainly Clubhouse's experience on Android compared to like Twitter Spaces for discovery. Twitter looks like they're just screwing up. Clubhouse was definitely, from a discovery perspective, a really pleasurable experience. If Discord can do something similar, though, like I think of Discord as where I live. It's an extension of my office. It's where I spend almost all my time. And if they have a good discovery experience, I would be, to the extent I'm interested in social audio, I'd be interested in that. So cool developments.
Yeah, and I think when we talked about several weeks ago, talked about the rise of social audio. We've talked about Clubhouse a lot. I was a little disappointed when it first came out, the exclusivity of it, like you mentioned, on iOS. And I think that certainly added to the allure, but it also made a big opportunity that many of their competitors have capitalized on with Android. And so it I guess remains to be seen if they can boost up in a meaningful and sustainable way, boost up their slightly ailing return user counts with embracing the lion's share of the market that are Android users.
Yeah, we'll see.
Now, so switching gears a little bit, staying with some of the collaborative audio experiences, TikTok's in a little bit of legal trouble. So an Ontario-based voiceover artist had done a significant amount of work, actually 10,000 utterances with a Chinese institute for acoustics. And apparently in that contract, the intent of the utterances was to be used for translation work, internal to that company, not to be shared with others. And lo and behold, in TikTok, there is a pretty entertaining text-to-speech capability that you can overlay using a generated version of this lady's voice. And so it's different from if it were just you or I, being not professional voiceover artists. You know, this is her livelihood, and it seems to be that it's not just a case of a misunderstanding. It is actually something that was excluded from the contract that she signed. So she's suing them for $150K per instance of copyright infringement, which is some absurd number. But it's interesting because, like with my background at Applause, and we work with people like Defined Crowd that do crowdsourced utterance collection. At least from I can't speak to Defined Crowd, but certainly for Applause, the use of that data that we collected was very explicit, very clearly defined, because we wanted to preclude any of this sort of experience from ever happening. It does make me wonder, like, this erodes a little bit of the trust that people have with voice and AI, and that trust is one of the biggest issues. And so I mean, I'll be interested to see sort of where it pans out. It does seem like it's a cut and dry indication of improper use of her personal data.
Love TikTok. I love those text-to-speech TikToks too. So
they are pretty entertaining.
I don't think they'll go away. They'll just have to change the voice.
Yeah. Brett Kinsella on VoiceBot posted a pretty silly video of his dog talking about this very case. If anybody hasn't seen it, definitely should check it out. All right. Well, let's bring on our guests. Jeff, Nick, good morning.
Hey there, good morning.
How are you guys today?
Doing well. It's a great Friday morning here in the Boston area. We've got some good weather, so couldn't be better.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Good to be with you guys.
And it's funny. This feels like a normal morning meeting that we've had for the last 3 months or so with the Google for Startup Accelerator program. It's like we have the band back together.
I know, nothing's new here. Just chatting with friends.
Right. So to start off, you guys have worked together for a long time, something like 20 years or so at various companies. But not specific in the voice space, in the broader digital marketing, digital agency space. So what prompted your move to voice, and what is Voicify all about?
Yeah, good question. So it's funny, voice is so new that anyone who's been in it for more than a few years, probably worked at Nuance or one of a handful of other companies, and that was sort of the original speech recognition. But voice as we know it today just isn't that old, and so Yeah, we started off, our last company was actually a digital agency, and we built it up from headquarters here in Boston to offices around the country and Atlanta, Dallas, LA, San Francisco, Toronto. We ended up exiting that business through a private equity sponsor a few years back. We merged it with another company, bought another company, and then ended up selling it to Genpact, which is a publicly traded company. But our experience, it's funny, we don't consider what we're doing now with Voicify to be something completely new because, through our background, we've basically been working with large enterprises for the last 15, 20 years, at the agency, originally helping them in the sort of late 90s, early 2000s with getting their foot in the door with web and helping them set up their initial websites and e-commerce, and then ultimately mobile applications and social. And so we saw voice as kind of the next big digital channel. So we just, every major company out there is pursuing an omni-channel strategy, including an omni-channel digital strategy. And so when major new channels like voice come along, they really are forced to address those because they got to fish where the fish are and, be as close to their customers as they can. So we saw it as a logical extension of our background, experience, and network to start Voicify to help the same companies and same people, same brands that we've been working with for years, really figure out this new channel as well.
Yeah, and also I could add too, from a technical point of view, that for a little while, before we had started Voicify, I was doing some voice application development, just building Alexa skills and seeing what was out there. And I started to think from the perspective from a marketer who we had worked with for decades with our digital agency. And I just realized that this was going to be a process that would be way too hard for any digital marketer who's non-technical to be able to go through all of the processes, and just wanted to find a better way. And so that was one of the reasons behind Voicify, was just to make that process easier for marketers, but then give them the ability to connect with all of the back office systems or third-party applications that are part of their digital stack.
Yeah, for listeners out there that aren't familiar with Voicify, in a nutshell, we basically taken the same paradigm that enterprises have used with regard to managing their website content through enterprise web content management systems, and really applied that same thinking and process to voice. So the same person who is a non-technical person at a marketing department, let's say at a major enterprise, who's already managing content on their website and social and mobile channels through a content management system, would feel very at home and comfortable using the Voicify system to manage and maintain content for their conversational channels. So that's sort of the general thesis behind it. And the other thing that's sort of unique to voice is that there are all of these different conversational endpoints. So you've got Google, you've Assistant, you've got Alexa, you've got various chatbots, custom assistants, IVR telephony. And so the other thing that we've really helped out on with the platform is, instead of having to build natively in each one of these for each endpoint, you can build once on the Voicify platform, and then we distribute to all of the major endpoints so that a brand can talk to their customer, essentially any platform, any device that they may be using.
That's awesome, Jeff, and review. And so I saw this week that you all had launched version 3.0 with features, I think, around personalization. You added a marketplace. So congratulations on that. And just, maybe tell us about what you're excited about in that release.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for recognizing that we had this major release. We're really fired up about it. Our customers are fired up about it, and big shout out to our team out there that put in a lot of work on this. One of the things that we're most excited about with it is the personalization capabilities through what we call conditional responses. And when you think about it, we've been doing personalization on websites forever now. It feels like forever. But for the most part, all the voice applications that are out there they're just very static, or at least they feel very static. And one of the reasons is that it's just hard to implement a truly personalized voice experience. And what we try to do is to make that process easier for a marketer, where they could just use the interface to set implicit personalization rules. Maybe it's that someone has interacted with a specific conversation item or a specific spot in the conversation, and you want to segment that person based off of that. You can do it really easily without writing any code. But that said, you could also integrate with another third-party personalization platform. So let's say you have conditions or rules set somewhere else. You can use that to drive the responses with Voicify as well. So that's one of the things that we're really excited about, and we're really looking forward to seeing what our customers can do with it.
And it does seem like that's one of the things a lot of brands miss, right? Is not personalizing that experience the same way that they would their other digital properties. Yeah,
exactly. Now, can you imagine going on to Netflix and just having the same experience for everyone? I mean, it seems so basic, but within the voice application space, it's just been a little bit too hard up until this point. And it doesn't necessarily require that the person has to log in or account link. Using some of the techniques I talked about, you can just use implicit personalization rules.
Yeah, and actually, just to add on that, not only are brands used to having that personalization capability in other digital channels, and we're now kind of bringing it to voice for the first time, but really, understanding who somebody is fundamental to this conversational channel, more so than any other. I mean, when we're talking right now, we can see each other, we can see our body language, we know about each other. The context in conversational experiences is even more important than when you're perhaps in other digital channels. So we think this is kind of fundamental and transformative for conversation, because it's how humans interact when you're having a conversation. And the whole point of voice and conversational experiences is to have a more human interaction. So we're really excited about it. The other big thing is with this release is really around frameworks and templates. So, we've taken everything we've learned over the last several years working with large brands around the world, and integrated that into this concept of framework. So we're taking integrations to major MarTech software platforms that all these brands are already using. We're taking templatized user experiences, et cetera, so that if you are a brand and you want to set up a certain type of experience, whether that's, let's say you're a financial services brand and you want to do some account lookup type experience for a user, or you're a retailer and you want to add the ability to do package tracking and returns processing. If you were going to build that without the Voicify platform, let's say any one of those use cases would take you 6 to 12 months to build natively on all the different platforms. With Voicify prior to 3.0, it'd probably take a week or two. Now with the sort of templates and framework capability, you can literally put in your credentials for whatever package tracking and returns software you're already using, and have the thing up and running within, let's say, 30 minutes. So we've dramatically truncated the time so that you can stand up these experiences. And that's really been our goal from the beginning, is to help brands make it really easy to talk to their customers wherever they are, and spin up these very complex, deep conversations, but sort of simplify it for the brand administrator.
Yeah, and I just posted a link in the chat to the various streaming platforms. I know you guys are doing a webinar on the 26th, 1 p.m. Eastern time. And I imagine you'll be going into this and a whole lot more of the both core and then new exciting capabilities of the platform.
Yeah, we'll be talking about a bunch of different use cases across various industries. So, if there's folks who are listening today who are thinking about voice for the first time, or maybe they have an experience and want to enhance it, we'll be talking about experiences and case studies across a number of different industries. So I think it's something that most people will find very useful.
Well, that's super exciting. And are you guys ready for a little change of pace? Ready to play a silly game?
Yeah, let's do this.
Absolutely.
All right. So I had put in the little internal chat the code to join for everybody out there. If you head to jackbox.tv, Jackbox, jackbox.tv, we're going to be playing some Dictionarium. And this is a This Week in Voice Live favorite, where it gives us a silly word to create, a definition for, and then synonyms and having to use it in a sentence. And Jeff and Nick, I know this is your first time, but seems to be a lot of beginner's luck here with these games that we're playing. So
yeah, take it easy on us.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we played this with Carla and Miriam from Babbly a few weet ago, and got some pretty ridiculous words.
I heard Bradley Metrock was on a roll, so maybe it's fortunate that he was out today, and we'll see if John can keep up with Bradley's winning streak.
All right, so you guys should see on your in your browser, you should see a word you have to come up with a definition for.
I'm going to be very much dating myself with my answer here.
All right, everybody's answers are in, it looks like. So the word is claparity. We have an equal amount of applause for two contestants on a game show. When everyone else is applauding something and you really don't want to, but do anyway just to not seem awkward.
That's good.
The quality of grace coming from using the clapper to clap on, clap off lights. And the reason why you have to visit the doctor. All right, so on your screen, you can vote for which one. All right, let's see. The quality of grace coming from using the clapper to clap on, clap off lights. Good job, John. Taking an early lead. Well, Jeff, you got one heart. That's not so bad.
And you can't even vote for yourself, so someone must have taken it.
Yeah, right.
Is your wife watching?
She would not have voted for me, trust me.
So now we have to make a synonym for claparity, the quality of grace coming from using the clapper. Clap on, clap off lights.
Now I feel like I'm on a roll. I'm getting a little cocky here. I put mine in about 2 seconds.
right. Synonyms for clarity. The quality of grace coming from using the clapper to clap on, clap off lights. We have applausibility, aplomb, clappiness, and clapophity. Those are good. Ooh.
So I can like multiple times. I picked
Yeah,
one.
you can like as many as you want.
I feel like I know which one Emerson did. Just
Oof.
based on his employment history.
Man, John, in a commanding lead.
Oh man, you're killing it.
I'm riding that clapper home to victory here.
See, this would be a perfect time if you had one in the room to clap on, clap off, or if your wife can like stand in the background and just do it with the manual light switch. All right, now we have to make a sentence using clappiness.
John, that was a very cocky little giggle.
I'm not sure. I feel pressure. I don't know if I expressed this one well. We'll see.
All right, clappiness. The new movie with Will Smith becoming a millionaire light maestro. That's good. The doctor said it was the worst case of clappiness she had ever seen. John is filled with sheer clappiness because he won the game. I can't wait to achieve true clappiness when we go back to Chattanooga next year.
Oh, that's good. I like that one.
Well, based on the CDC's guidance the other day, we could be doing this live, I guess.
I saw.
I think Nick and I are fully vaxxed at this point. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah. We unfortunately most of the people in Seattle are vaccinated. I think a little bit different down in Peru, right, John?
Yeah, we're coming to the U.S. Next week.
Oh, I got it.
Hey.
I don't know if it's going to be enough to win, though. All right, clappiness. The quality of grace coming from using the clapper to clap on, clap off lights. Derived from claparity. I can't wait to achieve true clappiness when we go back to Chattanooga next year.
Nice.
And let's see.
Oh man.
Man, John, good job. That was close at the end, but only that last round.
Do I get to give some sort of acceptance?
Bradley?
John, all you've done is secure your position as guest host in the future.
Yeah, right. Well, we have about we've got about a minute left. I've got two questions. One, I guess, really isn't a question, but it's how can people get in touch with you? I threw up your website and email. Visit voicify.com or ping sales@voicify.com. And definitely check out the webinar that is on the 26th. The link is in the chat on each of the platforms. I guess as a parting question, the Google for Startup Accelerator program ends next week. What advice would you have for people that weren't in the program, that other founders, startup executives out there?
Yeah, it was a great program. We're excited that we've been a part of it. One piece of advice for founders out there is going through your OKR process and really documenting that and making sure that that's visible to all your team members. It's a useful process to go through, not only for yourselves, but to get your team aligned around you. I think that was definitely a good thing for us to go through.
Yep. And for those of you who aren't familiar with objective key results, is OKR. Goes by a lot of different names, but I think as an extension of that, also just sort of getting yourself out of your normal headspace. Sometimes you get so focused on what's in front of you. For us, in many ways, the Google program it just went by in a blink of an eye in 10 weeks.
Yeah.
But for me, at least personally, it sort of forced us and as a leadership team to get outside of our normal, take the extra time to evaluate sort of strategic objectives and kind of what we're doing. And so even if you weren't in the program, I think if you took that time and set up, offsites or special time to think more around long-term planning and things like that, you can definitely drive a lot of value that way.
It's great advice. Jeff, Nick, John, thanks so much for joining today.
Thanks for having us.
Everybody out in the audience, thanks for starting your Friday with us, and we will see you all next week.